Good, y'all listen. Look, I'm mad I even gotta say this.
Why are we acting like this is not get your fucking coat back.
There's nothing wrong with hate. You've got to hate some things with a passion. And destruction, they must dislike and hate with a passion.
Peace, y'all. It's your girl ZZ back with another video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on my notifications bell, get it showing a thumbs up, share this mug. All that. All right, so today's video. Lord, some egregious things we got to react to. You know how we do, but overall message is kind of positive. All right, or it's fairly positive. So we're going to get into it. I'm not going to say too much. Y'all know that this is something that I've spoken on many times. I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, it's because it's a heavy agenda going on. Our children are being attacked in many different ways. And there are many different agendas being put onto them. They're trying to program our children, all right? So we have to be careful of the things, the vices in which our children may be victims of, all right? So right here, we have a video of a young lady. She's a nail tech, and she's talking about an experience she had with a recent customer, and why she had to decline them. So I'm going to let her explain it, but egregious, outrageous, everything between. Let's listen.
Year-old boy getting acrylics will never be okay in my chair. Sad to say that I just had to turn away a client because she wanted to get her 9-year-old son's nails done. And I know and I understand that in today's times, people are who they are, but a 9-year-old boy getting acrylics will never be okay in my chair. I'm so sorry. I had to have words. We went back and forth, but at the end of the day, respect is respect, and we respected each other, and she respected my space. But I'm coming on here to tell you guys this. I will no longer be doing kids' nails under the age of 16 unless you are accompanied by an adult. And I will no longer be doing, not press-ons, I'm sorry. I will be no longer doing acrylics for anyone underneath that age as well. 9 years old, a boy, Frenchies. Absolutely not. Never will happen in my case. We have to think about, guys, people are offing themselves because of being bullied at school. If I put acrylics, because for some reason she just wasn't understanding this, if I put acrylics on your 9-year-old son's nails and he goes to school and he can't just rip those things off, it'll be a mess. If he goes and get bullied, he might come and despise me in the next couple of years, and he will never forget me. He will never forgive me because it happened at such a young age and he doesn't know anything about forgiveness. Like, it gets to a point, man. And I'm not in this chair as much as I used to be, thank God. But I do know the clients that I will and will not take. And that's something I just will not accept. And I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I understand that she was just trying to be a good parent and support her child. And I do know, because I am a lesbian, I do know that mothers, parents know how their child is going to end up, without saying too many words, before they come out and say it. This little boy isn't going around wearing wigs. He's not going around skirts and squirts. No, he still looks like a presentable little boy. He has a little sass to him, but I think any little boy or any kid that grows up in a household with just his mother or aunts would end up to be. That doesn't make him quote unquote anything. So yeah, that threw me off. That just threw me off. I don't know.
Well, yeah, shout out to the sister. I'm glad that she didn't agree to do that. I'm gonna just say this off rip. I definitely agree with her stance. That she shouldn't, I don't think anybody should be doing nails for any children under the age of 15, 16. I think 16 is a good sweet spot. Without an accompanied adult, a parent. That doesn't even make sense for anybody to agree to that, to be honest, especially to be doing something as like not permanent, but that lasts as long as acrylics, like hell to the nah. And then the way the kids are so rough, I wouldn't agree to that if the parents were. I don't even think children should be doing it. Children should have press-ons up until about 15, 16. That's when you start to learn, like, okay, I got to be a little bit more gentle. And when I say children, let me be specific. Little girls shouldn't be wearing press-ons or shouldn't be wearing acrylic nails. They should be wearing press-ons until the age of 15, 16. Now, when it comes to boys, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, I get the logic that the sister was using that, when he goes to school, especially because he still, presents as a little boy, he's going to be made fun of. And, there's a risk of that harassment, and that grudge being held on to her. I can understand the way she was thinking about it, but that's just not the way I would have I would have justified it, to be honest. Although I get what she's saying, I wouldn't have justified it in that way because it's not really about that. It's the fact that this is a little boy. And I like I do like the fact that she threw in there that, yeah, he has some feminine mannerisms, but that's nothing more than what, he would get from being in a household full of so many women and not enough male presence. So yeah, there's that. He's still a little boy, no matter how feminine you think he is. I know some parents feel like, oh, when you know, I know my child and he's going to be this, he's going to be that. So I'm just going to accept it early. I'm going to allow him to be himself early. And it's like, he's still learning himself, especially if his father is not present or he doesn't have a lot of male energy around him, men around him specifically. Then yeah, there are some feminine traits that may come about. He may even want to divulge more into more girly things like getting his nails done, or experimenting with colors in his hair, or things of that nature, because he's around that influence so much. But he's still a boy. It is your job, it's your duty, it's your obligation as a parent, but moreover as a mother, to try to cultivate that as much as possible and not influence him and steer him away from manhood. Like, why would you want to encourage him to put on nails? Absolutely the hell not. Even if you are trying to encourage or accept your child for who you think they are, or who they might be, there's limits to that. If you want to allow him to be feminine and be sassy and roll his neck and I'm not in agreement with that, but that's you. That's your style of parenting. That's whatever. That's what you allow. But when it comes to him presenting as a boy, he should present as a boy. That's who he is. He's a male. He's a man. He will be a man, regardless if he's not trying to be that or not, or if he thinks he wants to transition into something else. He's a boy. He's a male. He should be raised as such, point blank, period. And the same thing for women. So when we talk about this whole putting on nails, like all of that extra, that should not be allowed. Wearing heels, putting on skirts. I'm sorry. I'm not in agreement with that. And I'm damn sure not in agreement with other people supporting that. A nail tech today. Hopefully, I hope that she don't find a damn nail tech. Baby, you better learn how to do that shit yourself if you want to do. But I don't think that's something that should be openly accepted by us as a community, to allow children to promote that within childhood, this level of confusion. I'm not with that. That's not okay. I'm so sorry. I know some people think they're born this way and which unfortunately some people are born like that because of the environmental influences. Okay. They putting the shit in the water. It's something in the air, look it up. It's real. So at this point, yeah, to a degree, it does have some truth to it that some children are born with these sort of abnormalities. If we just being real, some of them are. And so that's something that we have to deal with and learn how to correct and learn how to fight against back on. But trying to encourage it, taking this boy to a nail salon, egregious, outrageous, everything between. I'm sorry, no, you're still a little boy. You're still going to go outside and play basketball and play football or roughhouse with your friends. And no, you're not walking around with no damn nails like you're a little girl. That's not who you are. So sorry, son, if you want to do that when you turn 18, sure. Because you're not, honestly, I'm going to speak for myself. In my household, when I have a child, when I have a son, baby, you ain't doing that shit. You get the hell out of here. You can present how you want to present when you grown. But baby, you're not about to be presenting like that around me as a child. Absolutely the hell not. So no, that's not happening. When you're grown, you do what you want to do. When you turn 18, you out of school, you can choose to do whatever the hell you want to do with your body. But while you in this household and I'm paying for everything that happens to it, you not getting no damn nails. Absolutely not. And I'm not in approval of somebody else paying for you to do it or you paying for. No, it's not happening under my house. It's just not happening. So, so they have to understand their roles as men and women in this society. They have to understand, even if they choose otherwise when they get older, as they're growing up, you have to mold them, or at least instill within them the foundations of what it is to be that, to have that gender role, to have that responsibility of a man or a woman on you. That is something you help them work through. You help them through their journey. All right. So shout out to this sister. I'm not rocking with y'all putting this on no little boys or little girls. That's absolutely outrageous, everything between. I'm not with that. Now, although there is a heavy agenda being pushed, there's also some pushback, I will say, on from some people in the community, in the trans community specifically, who are not in agreement with these sort of like this promotion of trans children, of, LGBT children, however you want to say it, but they're not with the confusion being put on children. Now, this guy right here is pretty popular, Jeffree Star. I think he's had some anti-black tweets or something like that. I'm pretty sure I heard about him being a racist, so I'm not about to get this nigga too much praise. But I will say I do like the what he's saying here, so I'm gonna play it and let's look at his perspective.
We're putting in cartoons trans flags and we're all this stuff that and that's my personal opinion. I don't agree with it. I think it's too young. I don't agree with 8-year-olds wearing makeup either. It was never sexualized and weird, and like, why does the 5-year-old watching a Netflix cartoon show need to know about that right now? Why? And then let's just really take it there.
Let's take it there.
Why are we encouraging our kids to be a different gender and feed them false information when they're so young? So this is what I said recently that people really understood. When I grew up and I started looking different, right? My mother encouraged me to just be myself. When I started wearing makeup and being more feminine and wanting to do certain things, it wasn't, oh my God, Jeffree needs, what do they call it now? Gender affirming care. I'm done. She let me be myself. She didn't push me to be anything. Just like when you're a tomboy, did your mom try to, get you a surgery to be a, you know what I mean? Did she cut your tits off because at 13? No. So nowadays it's all these fucking weirdos telling their kids, oh my God, you like a Barbie? You're a woman. No, that's just a little boy experimenting, not knowing what the fuck he's doing. Why are we putting in cartoons trans flags and we're all this stuff that and that's my personal opinion. I don't agree with it. I think it's too young. I don't agree with 8-year-olds wearing makeup.
Yeah, so I agree with somewhat of what he's saying. I don't think a little 8-year-old boy playing with a doll. Of course, he's not a woman. I do think he's correct in that stance that these parents are becoming like they're going too far. Again, with this accepting or trying to allow their child to be free or be themselves or experiment, whatever, and trying to push more onto them. So yeah, your son picking up a Barbie doll doesn't mean he wants to be a girl. Doesn't mean that he wants to transition. Doesn't mean he wants to change his name or wear heels and makeup like the Barbie, etc., etc. However, I also don't think it means that he's, I think although children are finding themselves, they are experimenting. I actually do agree with that. However, it's the responsibility of the parent to guide that. It's the responsibility of the parent to cultivate within the household the morals and values and standards that will be instilled within the child. So if your little boy picks up a doll, that doesn't mean you just say, oh, he's just experimenting, I'm going to let him play with it, oh, he's going to be fine. No, you take the doll and say, here's an action figure. Here's a superhero. Here's a policeman. Here's a robot. Here's a whatever, insert whatever the hell, Lego. You have to correct that, all right? You say, no, these Barbie dolls are meant for girls. This is for your little sister. This is for your older sister. These are for you to play with, but these toys over here are for you to play with. Here, you can play with this. You can play with that. That's fine. But that little baby got the little Barbie doll with the Ken hat with the playhouse, the button, and all of that. That's for your sister. Those are your sister's toys. So there has to be corrective actions being made, being taken within these things happening. You know what I'm saying? There's not just like a one way or another. It's not like, oh yeah, if he has the doll, then just let him have it. He's experimenting and we'll see how it goes. It's like, no, as a parent, you're supposed to guide them. So you tell them, no, this is not made for girls. This is for boys. All right. And they will go along with that. That is the part of instilling those morals and values within your child and shaping them so they have some sort of grounding when they're older. So I mean, outside of that though, I do like the fact that he's calling out that these parents are going too far. You know what I'm saying? I'm not rocking with cutting off, private parts of children. Okay, I'm not even with this for adults. I think this is a mental health issue, if I'm just being completely honest. Y'all see my videos, but I'm gonna pull those up in a second. Because this has been a problem. But I'm not for cutting off genitalia and things of that nature for children. That's insanity to me. I'm not for you with testosterone blockers. Like, all of these things happening before puberty even hits is insane. That's crazy to me. For you to be doing that, that's honestly abuse. It's borderline, it's really abuse. Let's call it what it is. For you to be putting that on your child at such a young age, and they don't understand the consequences that come with that. I'm sorry. You have so many people, so many adults that are detransitioning. These are adults who chose in adulthood to transition and then go and detransition because they regretted it. What do you think the effects of these children will be? Like, what are we? And there's a slew of children as well that are detransitioned or the regret the few steps of transition they have done, and how that will affect them, not only their bodies but also even just their psyche when they get older. How that would affect them, you know, and how they viewed their childhood, how they viewed themselves as an adolescent, how they viewed themselves now. Why in the world will we be trying to put a child? There's no reason or logic you can use, in my opinion, that will justify you transitioning a child. I don't care if you're 15, 14, 13. There's no logic for that. I'm sorry. These children haven't even understand what it is to go through girlhood or boyhood, yet alone womanhood and manhood. And you're just going to put this on like, stop in the middle of your girlhood experience or your boyhood experience, and we're going to transition you to the other one. Like, that can have some serious psychological effects on a child, not only physically, especially if you're talking about testosterone blockers and giving hormones and cutting off genitals, things of that nature, baby. This can have some really egregious effects on a child. So I think that's borderline abuse to be pushing that on your child, especially to be pushing out on your child, but even to allow your child to do some of these things. Baby, they can't consent. Children can't consent. And that's not something that, honestly, even if we were arguing or debating the consent, this is damn sure not something they should be able to consent to. This is crazy. So yeah, egregious. But I do like hearing. I like seeing people of that community call out the nonsense, because it is egregious, and it's been egregious for a minute. And this is why I'm like, I've been having conversations. These ain't even half the videos probably I got on LGBT or trans agendas or whatever the hell. I have so many videos, but this is going back to 2019. I first started doing YouTube, I think, in 2018 with Amir, and then I started on my own, I want to say the beginning of 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I have so many videos. One of my most highly viewed videos are about transgenders getting out of hand. That's when Malik Yoba was on the Breakfast Club trying to say he was coming out of the closet because he liked trans women. He's trying to say he was stepping up and all types of nonsense. Just a bunch of word salad to try to cover up the fact that he's a gay man, okay? He's attracted to other men, whether they in a dress or a wig, it don't really damn matter. It's another man. So yeah, but yeah, I have so many videos relating to that, because especially during the beginning of my my YouTube, me starting YouTube, there was so much propaganda pushing LGBT, and particularly the T, onto children. There was so much, and not only just the children, really onto the world. I don't know where this wave can actually. I can't know, because I do know, should I say, because the white T supremacists are very intentional. They always 20, 30 steps ahead. But there was a wave, just a flood of propaganda for LGBT. This was around the same time of Black Lives Matter was huge as well. And Black Lives Matter even, matter of fact, I just exited out, but I have it on one of my videos. I literally, the thumbnail is, matter of fact, let me pull it up, because I don't even want you. You don't gotta believe me. I'm gonna let you see it, because I made it the thumbnail for my video, because it was so egregious. Hold up, let me see. Here we go, right here. Yeah, this was around the time Black Lives Matter was very popular, and they even had on their site, because we know Black Lives Matter, the organization, was some bullshit, all right. But they even had on their site, they were selling shirts that said BLM, Black Future is Queer, for $30 at that, taxing on this bullshit ass shirt. But $30, yeah, they was selling this shirt that said Black Future is Queer. So they were heavily even pushing the Black Lives Matter movement. That was one thing that I remember seeing that and knowing, like, okay, well, this Black Lives Matter shit is some bullshit, okay? Before they got exposed for everything else they was doing. But that was one of the major things that I was like, yeah, this is definitely some bullshit. Egregious, outrageous, everything between. So yeah, now we have. But I thought this was interesting, because now we see things like this where we have a sharp decline. It's a report that says there's a sharp decline in trans identifying youth between 2023 and 2025. All right. Let me just read a little bit of this. A sharp decline in Gen Z Americans identifying as transgender and queer has occurred from 6.8 identifying as a gender other than male or female in 2023 compared to 3.6 stating so in 2025, according to a report. The report's author, professor of politics Eric Kaufman, told the Center Square he thinks this drop in transgender young people signals one of the first shifts away from progressive conformity of lifestyle and self-expression in 60 years. Kaufman told the Center Square, I believe we could be at the start of gradual change toward a more post-progressive society, somewhat more socially conservative, or at least not as socially radical. Kaufman also said that the Center Square that there are many implications to his report. First, that the social influences are an important factor in the rise and decline of trans, queer, and bisexual identity among young people since 2010. Yeah, social influences. I hope you mean not only social influencers, but I hope you mean these shows, this propaganda. I mean, the propaganda is crazy. It has been, I mean, even Snoop Dogg. I just did a video about Snoop Dogg who had a Love is Love song. Okay, talking about intersex marriages or, same-sex marriages, should I say, and on his Doggyland YouTube show that's for children. It's a cartoon channel for children, all right? So even, I mean, come on. It's everywhere. They have children dressed up as drag on some of these TV shows. They got cartoons. They got even Disney not too long ago, I think about a year ago, Disney had an episode on one of their new shows where it was about a little boy who transitioned from a boy to a girl. And they try to make it about a baseball team because the initial episode got so much backlash. I think when they did like a small showing, it wasn't really good reviews because people were like, why are you talking about transitioning to children? This is some weird propaganda to gear towards children. Okay. If this was an adult show, okay. But towards children, I mean, that's a little like y'all going a little far. So they did a little cover up in the episode and had the little boy transitioning from a baseball team to a softball team. A softball team both sexes. It has boys and girls on the team. So but although they don't address it directly in the show, they show him going from looking like a boy to starting to looking like a girl. All right, by the end of the episode, he's looking like a girl. He's not looking like the same little boy he was in the beginning of the episode. So the message is still very much there. The propaganda is everywhere. Second, that gender and sexual identity seems to operate relatively independently of politics and culture war attitudes among young people. I don't know about that one. I don't know. But for instance, in an X post on the subject, Kaufman wrote that the shift in queer and trans identification is not actually due to the youth becoming less woke, more religious, or more conservative, because those beliefs remained stable throughout the 2020s. I don't know about that either. Now, this less woke shit, woke ain't even y'all. So y'all, the white people that took woke and turned it into some shit that is not even that. So no, the new generations are still woke. Okay, y'all just don't know what the hell woke means. But more religious and more conservative, I think. Yeah, honestly, a little more. I think a lot of these youngins are starting to lean a little bit more conservative because they starting to see the bullshit for what it is. They start to see this propaganda for what it is. These mental health issues for what they are. Kaufman told the Center Square that his third and final listed point on the implication of this report was that improving mental health is connected to this trend of declining Gen Z transgenderism through, though only partially. Well, yeah, because really it is a mental health issue for you to wake up one day and think, to be under a delusion that you are another gender, that you are the opposite gender, because there's only two. Let's not even do all that. But to think that you are the opposite gender, baby, that's a mental health issue. And you want me to feed into that delusion and act like you're this woman or you're this girl when you're really a male. You were born a man, but you want me to feed into this delusion, baby? No, that's a mental health issue. Yes. So when you address the actual issues that some of these children have, some of the anxiety or depression or, childhood traumas, whatever they may have gone through that got them to this state, because usually it's that. A lot of times it is that. outside of environmental influences, because I'm trying to tell y'all, I forgot what the term is. Atrazine, what is it? It's something in the water for sure. Okay, shout out to that black doctor, the brother. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Put him in the comments. That was doing them experiments on the frogs. But y'all know what I'm talking about. So outside of the environmental factors, yeah, a lot of this is the root issue, the cause of this is mental health issues. If you get to that root of it, then a lot of the side effects, like this wanting to be another gender or thinking that you're more feminine or that you're more masculine than you are, baby, it starts to fade away, especially after puberty. Okay. Kaufman told the Senate that this third and final plus point of the implication, I'm sorry, I read that. Better mental health certainly appears to play a part in the decline of trans and queer identifying young Americans, as less anxious and especially depressed students are linked with smaller share identifying as trans, queer, or bisexual, Kaufman wrote. So yeah, egregious, outrageous, everything between. But I do love the fact that we are seeing a decline in this, because we should have never seen an incline. We should have never seen an incline. And I'm glad that the report says it's from 2023 to 2025, because like I said, the propaganda started to kick off in about 2018, 2019. Then we start to see the results of it in 2023 with all of these children falling, and these parents, moreover, falling for this propaganda and this nonsense that, oh, your child can be who they want to be, and it's a healthy thing, and it's fine. It's actually healthier for them to feed into it and to just dive right on into it, and being a man and being a woman and getting testosterone and taking hormone pills. It's just better for them to dive into the deep end with it rather than wait until later on, because they're going to be dealing with all of these other mental health issues leading up to that. So no, I'm glad that we are starting to see the decline in this. I'm glad that there is more people speaking out about this. You're seeing a lot more trans people even talking about this and seeing this and calling it for what it is. A lot of them are using the words like abuse, or using the words like, using having sentiments like, hey, I'm all for adults doing for what they free will, do what you want to do, but let's not put that on the children. That seems to be a lot of the sentiments I'm hearing from at least some more of the conservative people in the LGBT group. I think Jeffree Star even said that he think the T shouldn't be in the LGB, because you identifying as a man or woman ain't got nothing to do with your sexuality. LGB is all whether you want to be is whether you like men or women. Okay, but the T, when you put the T in there, now you're talking about a whole other slew of issues that ain't got nothing to do with your damn sexuality. So, there's a lot happening right now. But I do think that is a positive, for the children, that they're not having to deal with this. Now, of course, there is still a lot of this going on. There's still a lot of propaganda happening. There's still, people fighting to get certain books out of schools because they're sexualizing children and putting things in there to put ideas in children's heads. That will plant seeds later on that might make them be transgender, or might make them feel like they're lesbian, gay, bisexual, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, there's still a lot more work to do. But I will say that I love that those numbers are declining, because 6.3, it may not be a lot. It's not a lot, but it's enough for it to be a damn problem. That's egregious. All right, there should be none. No children identifying as no trans. It shouldn't even be allowed. That's ridiculous. All right. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Make sure you what is that thing? You hype it. I forgot what it is. But yeah, do all you can for the engagement. I do appreciate it in advance. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Peace and be one.
We do not play but agree. You fuck with the team. Might find your West in the creek. We crossing our T's. We don't never miss a beat.